one time when I was in college at GCU, go Lopes, that I found myself in kind of a bad situation. I had my schedule packed all semester. I'm talking working on the weekends, taking extra classes. I had a group of friends who just wanted to hang out and do fun things all the time, even if that meant getting coffee at 1 in the morning, which I do not recommend, by the way. I was involved in different activities and clubs on campus. I was even on an intramural kickball team. That's a real thing, I promise. I was so busy and exhausted all the time. Well, finals week rolls around and I'm getting even less sleep because I'm studying super hard. I have a really important final test in my last class of the semester and I sleep through the exam. Now, if you're thinking this test was at 7 a.m., you could probably have a little sympathy for me. But no, this test was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're probably thinking, how does this happen? I was so tired that I fell asleep at the kitchen table in my apartment. It was the worst thing ever. Thankfully, I had a very kind professor who let me retake the test later. Otherwise, I would probably still be in their class today. But this was my wake-up call. My priorities were out of whack, and I wasn't resting when I definitely should have been. Has something like this ever happened to you? You're juggling school, sports, friendships, you're staying up all night, watching shows, or scrolling through social media, feeling worn out all the time. Have any of you in the past few months just felt tired? You've been struggling to keep your eyes open in class. You've noticed yourself be a little less patient with your parents, a little more on edge with your siblings. You're just not feeling your best.
I'm taking a nap.
You want to take a nap?
I'm taking a nap here.
Okay, take a nap right there then.
Good night.
All of these things could be fixed if you had a Sabbath. So what is a Sabbath? Well, a Sabbath is something that college me definitely could have used. It's simply a day of the week that you set aside for rest and for worship. The root of the word in Hebrew simply means to stop or to cease. One of the first examples we have of this is actually in the very first few chapters of the Bible. In the beginning, God created the universe and everything in it in the first 6 days of the week. But on the seventh day, God rested. Genesis chapter 2, verse 3 says it like this: "Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done." Guys, if God, who created us and everything in the universe in only 6 days of the week, if he took a day off, you better believe that we can take a day off as well. Jesus actually commands us to take a Sabbath because he knows that in our human nature, we won't take one on our own. In Mark 2:27, Jesus said the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. God created this day to be a gift for you and for me, a day that's joyful and life-giving. However, in our world today, we're told to do the exact opposite. Not slowing down is a lifestyle that's glorified and praised constantly. Maybe you've heard phrases like grind don't stop, or no days off, or my favorite, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Yikes! This is why our world is so stressed, so worn down, and existing off of caffeine. So with all of these things going on in our world and in our busy schedules, how do we keep Jesus in the center of our lives? If we would call ourselves Christ-centered difference makers, how do we practically keep rest as the focus when we have so many other things begging for our attention? You see, I believe that Sabbath really points to our hearts. It's about us releasing control and allowing God into every situation. It's the process of admitting that you can do more in 6 days with Jesus than you can do in 7 days by yourself. So how do we live this out today, students? It's as simple as 1 day a week. You take a break. And a break doesn't mean you can just move out of your house for an entire day because your siblings annoy you. I wish, right? But it could look like taking a day off from social media because it's something that you've noticed takes up a lot of your attention. It means saying no to hanging out with your friends on your day off and instead choosing to stay home and recenter your life on Jesus and slowing down. I like to picture Sabbath like a charging station for your soul. We were designed to take a day off to replenish our energy by plugging into our relationship with Jesus. Just like when your phone won't work when the battery's low, we're made the same way. Rest recharges us. And all of these things that you're resting from will still be there tomorrow. You're simply pausing the busyness and inviting God in. Jesus says in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, he says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." We can feel comforted when reading this because rest is a good thing. You will not fall behind if you rest. In fact, you'll have greater clarity on what God has for you. If we all made the Sabbath a part of our weekly practice, we would experience less anxiety, less stress, we wouldn't be as rushed as we normally feel during the week, and we'd be able to breathe. I know that I am a much better version of myself on the weeks that I have taken a Sabbath. And the really cool part is that we don't need to earn rest. Just like we don't have to do anything to earn God's love, rest is something that is freely open for you to choose. God commands rest because he knows you need it, but the choice is yours. So students, do you trust God when he clearly says that his best for you is to have a Sabbath every single week? Our challenge for you this week is to pick a day to rest. For most of you, this will be a Saturday or a Sunday, but pick a day that you can turn off all social media, sports responsibilities, any pressure from friends, and simply focus on connecting with Jesus. Let's go be Christ-centered difference makers that choose to practice the Sabbath.